When I started this YouTube channel, I always promised I would be 100% honest and upfront. And I'm going to do that now because size matters. I know nobody wants to hear this, but it really, really does. You have to look at it with a completely rational and somewhat educated viewpoint. Logical, if you will. Hasselblad sells $60,000 medium format cameras to professional commercial photographers for a reason. If size didn't matter, I don't care if it's micro four thirds, crop sensor, full frame, almost medium format, and medium format. Why would a professional commercial photographer need to buy a $60,000 camera instead of just getting an inexpensive crop sensor? Because it matters. Now, I know that, I get a lot of comments about my Leica 60 megapixel sensor and your crop sensor does the same thing my camera does. And I'm sure it does. If I shot a $60,000 Hasselblad and threw it up on Instagram, it would be almost the same as a crop sensor or a micro four thirds for that matter. But you can't make a blanket statement like size doesn't matter. Crop sensor is just as good as full frame. It depends on what you're shooting, how you're shooting it. And, no matter how you put it, no matter how you state it, there is a difference. Now, I love my 60 megapixel sensor on my Leica. Love it. Does it come close to the Hasselblad X1D, X2D, X1D Mark II, the Fuji 50R or 50S Mark II? It doesn't. It can't. That larger sensor, it's not just megapixels or, the photo sites, they allow a gradient of color transition and gray and black transitions that you just cannot get on a smaller sensor. And, you can say as much as you want. And, the only thing I ever think when I hear this stuff coming at me is you have never used a medium format sensor if you believe that there's no difference between a crop sensor, a full frame, and a medium format sensor. I love the Fuji system. I love the crop sensor in that, but I can't use it for a commercial job because they won't accept it, period. You may say, well, it's going to be the same thing. You can say that all you want. They won't accept it. And before you come at me with, you can use software to interpolate it up, you can't. It's not the same, period. It just doesn't work the same. So let me get to that out of the way. You want to become a professional photographer and that's your goal. Worry about your glass right now and worry about the camera later and build up to being that commercial pro photographer you want to be. Starting with great glass is the way to go. If you need a medium format for a commercial job because they are going to require it, just rent one. But don't fool yourself into believing that your Fuji crop sensor camera can take care of a commercial job. Now, Fuji's been in this business a long time and they do spectacular cameras. I love the X Pro 3. I love the XT3, but they came out with a medium format system because it's needed, not because it's the same as the crop sensor. So get that out of your head, and all the people out there on the sites telling you it's just as good, it doesn't matter, it matters. Period. It matters. Size of the sensor matters. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to leave your comments below, go ahead. I'm going to ignore the nasty ones because it's just common sense. Anyway, that's it for the day. That's my quick rant. So yeah, if you're looking to get into a system and you want to do commercial work, get a full frame and then rent your medium format when you need it for commercial work. That's my advice.